Привет! С вами снова я, Ильдар Жургенов, и уже 5-й выпуск «Охоты на учебу». Сегодня мы продолжим тему образования в США и поговорим немного об университетах Лиги Плюща и о том, как туда поступить. Итак, Лига Плюща. Интересное название, правда? К сожалению или к счастью, Лига Плюща не имеет абсолютно никакого отношения к персонажу Умы Турман в фильме «Бэтмен и Робин». Да, собственно, даже и к роду ползучих кустарников семейства Оралевых тоже весьма опосредованная. Лига Плюща называет 8 частных университетов и колледжей на северо-востоке США, которые считаются одними из самых престижных. Хотя вообще Лига Плюща — это спортивная лига этих университетов, кого это волнует? В Лигу Плюща входят Брауновский, Гарвардский, Ельский, Колумбийский, Корнельский, Пенсильванский, Принстонский университеты и Дартмутский колледж. Их еще называют «древней восьмеркой». 7 из них были основаны еще до независимости США. Конечно же, этой восьмеркой престижные вузы в США вовсе не заканчиваются. Например, всем известные и более современные университеты MIT или Стэнфорд в Лигу Плюща не входят. Однако все 8 этих вузов постоянно находятся в топ-15. Хорошо, мы задались целью – поступить в университет Лиги Плюща. Что для этого нужно? Получить красный аттестат и сдать на отличное SAT? Нет, этого мало. В прошлом выпуске мы уже говорили, что внеклассные мероприятия очень важны для поступления. Для Лиги Плюща вы должны быть лучшим. Не просто участвовать в какой-нибудь школьной организации, а возглавлять ее или даже основать. Желательно даже не одну. Само собой, это предполагает лидерские качества. Что же вы сделали для хип-хопа в свои годы? Организовали шахматный турнир? Или, может быть, подтянули 10 двоечников до пятерки? Но даже с этим багажом вы далеко не уйдете, если не занимаетесь спортом или музыкой. Для американцев вообще спорт – это святое. Не обязательно быть капитаном футбольной команды, но участвовать в соревнованиях вы просто обязаны. Не бегите записываться сразу же во все секции и клубы. Если у вас нет четкой цели, к которой вы идете долгие годы, приемная комиссия вами вряд ли заинтересуется. Покажите им, что вы действительно чем-то болеете, что-то делаете серьезное. Слова «понты» в английском языке нет. В прошлый раз мы говорили о нескольких путях поступления в американский вуз, но если вы серьезно нацелились на Лигу Плюща, то короткие пути не для вас. Забудьте про pathway. Нужно готовиться заранее, за 2-3 года, поэтому, наверное, лучшим способом будет поступить в американскую школу и отучиться последние 2 года там, в high school. Но об этом нам подробнее расскажут наши сегодняшние гости, один из которых, кстати, выпускник Гарварда. Информация из первых рук. Сегодня у нас несколько необычный формат нашего интервью. У нас в гостях гости из Бостона. Они сами себя представят. И на этом я умолкаю.
Здравствуйте. Меня зовут Юля, и я являюсь представителем компании Cambridge Education Group. Сейчас мне хотелось бы вам рассказать немножко об одной из наших программ, которая называется Cats Academy Boston. Cats Academy Boston — это частная элитная международная школа, находящаяся примерно 20 минут от центра Бостона. В Cats Academy Boston мы специализируемся на обучении иностранных студентов и предлагаем с 9 по 12 класс. Вообще, зачем я вам сама об этом рассказываю? У нас в гостях представитель, один из учителей Cats Academy Boston, Кайл Иган. Сейчас мы ему зададим некоторые вопросы. So Kyle, Mr. Egan, can you please introduce yourself and what part of role you play in Cats Academy Boston?
Sure. My name is Kyle Egan. I am one of the directors of studies at Cats Academy Boston. I am also the athletic director and a math teacher. I've been with Cats for the last year. We're a brand new school in America. And we're very excited to be telling you a little bit more about our institution today.
Can you please tell us about your experience in teaching international students?
Sure. I've been teaching for the last 11 years. I graduated from Harvard University in 2002, and I've been mostly a domestic American teacher in the States. I've just recently made the transition to focusing on international studies. And it's been a great delight to teach international students. In this global economy, we're really focusing on helping international students to experience an American education in preparation for getting them accepted to some of the most selective, highly enrolled schools in American colleges.
And since Cats Academy Boston focuses a lot on teaching international students, what would you identify as the key challenges for international students studying abroad?
Well, we certainly see our challenges within our English ability levels when we have students arrive. However, we have great support systems in place to meet them at their needs. We teach not only an English class, which is college preparatory, but all students are required to take ESL. We give support in SAT testing and TOEFL so that as they progress from grade 9 through grade 12, they have the highest possible scores on their board. We offer SAT intensive courses in their junior year, college guidance and counseling. So despite any challenges that we see, students have been doing very well under our program, and we're offering very, very high academic and social emotional development at the school.
So you were talking a little bit about the SAT preparation that you offer to your students.
Sure.
And the ESL component, but what other support do you offer to the kids that come to Cats Academy Boston to help overcome those challenges?
One of the, I think, most important things is we have an advisor system. Each one of the teachers has roughly 4 to 6 advisee students. We sit with them three times each week, and we just catch up on where they are, concerns, comments. We try to help negotiate the entire process from daily classes to standardized tests, which do come up from time to time. We meet with them concerning any problems that they have in the dormitory or in the school building. We try to solve those problems for them in a very mature way. We basically act as parents. So that's a huge component of the support system. College guidance is another huge support. We have a wonderful graduate from Harvard. Her name is Sophia Mayes. And she's joining us after 10 years of experience as a senior admissions advisor for Harvard University itself. We believe that her experience and her knowledge will be critical and paramount into helping our students forge their own path towards either the Ivy League or other highly selective enrollment schools, as we do know that Ivy League is not the only avenue for our students to go.
Oh, wow. Harvard, that's impressive.
Yeah.
So what other staff do you have that help the students? Can you talk a little bit about the staff that work at
Sure.
Cats Academy?
One of the things that I'm most proud of is my colleagues. We have an extremely dedicated group, but an extremely talented group. We have teachers from Columbia University, Brown University, Yale University, Harvard University. We have teachers from Stanford, UCLA, Washington in St. Louis, NYU in New York City, and that's just off the top of my head. Our staff is extremely dedicated and very, very talented.
Thank you very much. That's very impressive. And what about you personally? Which college did you go to?
As I did mention, I am a Harvard alum and graduate from 2002. While I was there, I focused on psychology, and specifically child psychology, which led me to education. Since then, I have received 2 master's degrees in teaching secondary mathematics and educational leadership, which has allowed me to bridge both my passion for staying in the classroom and teaching students, as well as the director of studies and administration.
Oh, wow, great. And can you tell us about your experience of Harvard? I mean, were you a perfect student with a perfect GPA and perfect SAT score? Is that how Harvard accepted you? What's important when Harvard looks at my application or any other student's application to determine whether Harvard's the right choice for the student?
Sure, it's a great question and one I get asked often. While I considered myself to be a very good student, I was surrounded at Harvard by excellent students. I had very good SAT scores. I had very good ACT scores. I took many AP courses, which are advanced placement. But I was one of thousands that did the same exact thing. What I think differentiated me is at the time I applied to Harvard back in 1998, I was a national championship swimmer. And I was trying out, or I was qualified for the upcoming Olympic Games. I think that really separated me head and shoulders above some of my competition, I suppose, in getting into Harvard. But it's not that you have to be a championship swimmer or nationally ranked you have to have some passion, you have to have some excellence, and you have to exploit that. You have to use it to your advantage to get into Harvard. I think there's three real key components. Obviously, academics is extremely important. That gets you to the front door. A very strong extracurricular activity, whether it's sports, community service, or a club, that's going to get you a serious look. And then you need the social development skills to have a real strong transcript, to sit with an admissions officer, to be confident in your admissions process. And I believe that's going to get you the acceptance that you're looking for a highly selective school like Harvard.
Let's just assume that I'm an average guy from the street and I don't know anything about your college and stuff, so I'm gonna ask some stupid questions. Please don't beat me. Cats Academy Boston is it like high school, or what's the difference?
Yeah, so in America we offer a 9th through 12th grade high school. It's called secondary education, and it is the precursor to getting accepted to college or university in America. Of course, our students can apply to any university worldwide, but for the most part we're attracting students that are interested in not only getting an American education, but for the focus of going on to an American university.
If we're talking from the point of a prospective student, I'm just a kid who wants to study in US, and I'm thinking, should I apply like for a high school in US, or should I prepare myself here and then apply to university, or go to Academy Boston? What's the difference?
It's a good question. One of the things that I think many international students are faced with when they do go to a traditional American-focused high school is they are one of very few percentage of international students. The focus is put on American, English-speaking, domestic students that have been in the States their entire lives. Where we are different is our focus is on international students. What we do is we will spend extra time working with students as opposed to simply ignoring the fact that they are foreign and that they are struggling to keep up with the English that we're speaking. English, of course, is almost a global language, but it's not necessarily the only language, and our students are coming from every corner of the world. We like to treat them as individuals. Our class sizes are very intimate and small, on average 8 students to every 1 teacher. In American boarding schools, you could have upwards of 20. In public high schools in America, it's upwards of 30 to 1. So we have small class sizes, individualized attention, an extreme focus on diversity, on multiculturalism, and on the specific language needs that our academy focuses on.
Mm-hmm. So, as I understood, it's your academy is focused entirely on international students, but if we think from a point of view of a parent of a kid from Kazakhstan, one can think that maybe it's better to apply for average high school. It will be more challenging and difficult, but won't it be better for a student if he studies with the Americans and can adapt better, rather than he will be studying with other international students?
If the support is there for those American schools, it might be a good option. What we do provide is extreme support, and that's why I think we are ahead of other American schools. We do have American students. As I said, we're focused on international. That doesn't mean we're exclusively international. So we try to give a true American experience in the curriculum, the course of study. But where we separate ourselves and where I think we come head and shoulders above the rest is the support that we offer our international students. Many students, when they come to America, they don't know what to expect in terms of college entrance, admissions, preparing themselves to really stand out, and that the journey of the 4-year process really does take into account every aspect of your life. Academics is certainly important, and many students coming to America will focus predominantly on just academics. What we understand, what we know to be true, is that extracurricular activities and social emotional development also play key roles in getting accepted into schools. So I just think that CATS does a superior job to any school in helping transition international students through that process.
The other thing that concerns our parents is that if my child studies with other international students more than with native students, he could easily find Russian-speaking friends, and he won't develop his English.
Certainly, and we certainly do have many Russian-speaking students. The beauty is, because we are so international, because we have such a vast, diverse culture of nationalities represented in one building, the moment a non-Russian speaker joins any type of conversation, Russian immediately stops and English is picked up in its place. We try our best to make sure that English is spoken as much as possible in the classes, in the dormitories, in the dining halls, and there's going to be certainly times that native Russian speakers will speak Russian to each other. But as I said, there's such a diverse community that the moment a non-Russian speaker is a part of that group, it immediately dissolves the language barrier, and English is the primary focus.
Mm-hmm. About the Ivy League universities, of course, most of our students want to study there, and they can consider applying. We're not talking about their abilities to actually get there, but anyway, any parent wants his child to study in the best university possible. So what can you say about the possibilities to actually get to the Ivy League universities? Is Academy Boston a better option for that, or?
I believe so. We will set up realistic expectations on day one. We're certainly going to try and push students to the furthest possible abilities that they can produce. Mm-hmm. We understand, and I am a product of Harvard, Harvard has 1,600 spots for its freshman class. Over 10,000 people will apply. It's a highly selective school. If you put that into world populations, Kazakhstan has how many millions of people?
15
million, and 1,600 are going to go to Harvard, so it's under 1%. The truth is, we'll have better success from America in the Boston community finding the most appropriate college, whether that is Harvard or whether it is a lesser known but equally qualified, highly selective enrollment college. We will help students find their way. The understanding for the most part when we receive students is they're only familiar with Harvard because it's the most recognizable name. They're not very familiar with some lesser known schools. But those lesser known schools offer probably better opportunities, specific degrees that are going to set students up for success. So as director of studies, I'm going to sit with each one of the students, find out what their interest is long term, their goal after college. We're not just concerned with them in high school. Unfortunately, that's the only time we're going to get with them. And I say unfortunately because we'd like to spend as much time as we can. But once they leave us, we're still interested in the success they have at colleges and universities and beyond that. So that's going to be a good test to our ability to place kids in the most appropriate school.
You said that extracurriculum activities are very important for students, and universities look at what students achieve and what they do. What kind of activities, what options do students have?
Sure. So besides our sports, of which we offer about 8 or 9 sports each season, we also have community service and clubs. And the clubs are generally student-run. They're focused on student interests. One of our most popular clubs was started by a Kazakh student. It's our fashion club.
Really?
She was very interested in the fashions of the world, and she brought that to me as the activities director and said, can we set some money aside to have a club that's focused around fashion? And I said, are you planning on making clothing? She said, oh no, we're just planning about discussing it. So they started a club and plan to see some fashion shows, and they have a blog that they started online. It's a very good club. But beyond the finding a niche, finding their passion, finding something that can separate them on a transcript, we also like to give our students experiences. We like them to be happy. They're very far from home. So each weekend we plan trips, whether in the Boston area or the New England area, and we certainly take trips even further than that on a limited basis. We go to sporting events to see the Red Sox or the Patriots, the Bruins or the Celtics. We go to college visits like Harvard, MIT, BC, Boston University. We also go to museums, the Modern Art Museum in downtown Boston. We've gone to the aquarium, the Science Museum. So our weekend life is very rich in experience, and we believe that giving students the ability to have something to look forward to every weekend keeps them A, happy, B, interested, and C, gives them something interesting to talk about with family, friends, and even people that are going to be interviewing them at colleges.
Ну что ж, тут мало чего можем добавить. Скажу только пару вещей. Как я уже говорил, для поступления в престижный американский вуз важна цель, важна история жизни. Мало списка достижений, это всего лишь список. Приемная комиссия должна понимать, кто вы и чего вы хотите, и почему вы хотите поступить именно в этот вуз. Почему именно Гарвард? Почему именно Ель? Они все увиты плющом, и учеба в них страшно дорогая и страшно престижная, но у каждого из них своя история и своя культура. Например, в Принстоне предпочитают музыкальных, творческих и спортивных студентов. Если вы четко не знаете, почему вы хотите именно в этот вуз, может, вам вообще оно не нужно. Поступить в университет Лиги Плюща очень непросто. Но даже если у вас не получится, не отчаивайтесь. Ведь после такой долгой упорной тренировки в жизни вы точно не пропадете. Ну, на сегодня все. С вами был снова я, Ильдар Жургенов. Спасибо Cambridge Education Group за информационную поддержку. До встречи и удачной вам охоты на учебу.
We have 2 Kazakh girls this year. We expect many more in the upcoming months. But one of our girls, when she first arrived in Boston, did not realize that it was quite as cold as it was, and she thought because Kazakh was so cold in February, Boston must be extremely warm, and only brought some summer clothing. So for the first 2 days that she was there, she was walking around in flip-flops in the dormitory, and we had to go on a special trip to make sure we had provided her the opportunity to get the appropriate attire. So a funny story. But overall, our Kazakh students are extremely well motivated, highly intelligent, strong students in our classes, and we love having them there. We hope to have more Kazakh students in the upcoming months.